Hi, Jenny here. It's my birthday week. So in figuring out what I wanted to make for a birthday treat, I was thinking about how I had just been looking through some of the family photos and I'd seen pictures of all the different treats I'd made for different holidays and for my girls' birthdays, and thought, you know, I made a sunflower cupcake that looked pretty cool, so I will remake that one for my birthday. I made that for my daughter's birthday. I don't exactly remember how I made it, but I know I got it from this book called Hello Cupcake. So it's a pretty cool book. It has all different kinds of ideas in there. Obviously there's some, you know, dogs on the cover here. Oh, there's my other one. One of the years my daughter was into insects, so there were some insect cupcakes. I had made those. And in here is the sunflower cupcake. So that's what we're going to attempt to make today. So the nice thing about this book too is it does give you different tips and tricks on how to make the different ideas. So like if you don't have piping bags and stuff, on how you can use baggies to do the frosting, and using store-bought frosting and different things like that. So that's what we'll be doing, making some sunflowers. Let's get started. So for today's cupcakes, we are going to need 1 box of cake mix. I'm choosing chocolate because that's the flavor I like, but you can have whatever kind you want. A package of the big Oreos, a can, maybe 2 of frosting, and then some food coloring. Alright, we're going to make the cake mix according to the box directions. So we need 1 cup of water, half a cup of oil, and 3 eggs, and our cake mix. Alright, everybody keeps telling me I should be using a whisk for doing this if I'm doing it manually. So, to prove, yes, I do have a whisk. I just prefer using a big spoon because sometimes in the whisk, then you do this, it gets all chunky in there and it's harder to clean. But the spoon works just as well. So if you don't have a whisk, that's fine. And if you want to do this with an electric mixer, you can also do that. I just didn't feel like bringing mine out today, so you can still very well just do it all by hand. Just going to make sure that it's all mixed up really well. Okay, the box says to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So I'm going to do that now while we fill up our cupcake, so it has time to heat up and it should be ready by the time we're ready. And then we're going to be making 24 cupcakes, so we're going to bake them from 19 to 20 minutes. So you can either spray your cupcake pans or put in some liners. So I'm going to put in liners. Alright, I'm going to try a ladle and fill the cups about 3/4 of the way full. Again, you can also use a spoon or scoop, whatever you have. So we'll try this way. Usually I use a spoon. I will try a ladle today. Part of the joy of making cupcakes is whether you can actually have enough for 24 of them. So usually you fill them half to 3/4 full, and you should have enough for 24. I have 18. So maybe part of it too, also when you do it by hand, you're not whipping enough air into the mixture. So when I make my next batch, I'll try the mixer and I'll let you know how that goes. But for right now, I'll throw these both in the oven at the same time and cook them for 20 minutes, and we'll see if they're done by sticking a toothpick into them. And if not, we'll go for a couple more minutes. Alright, well, I guess you see, you could probably actually go half full on the cupcake liners because some of these got really poofy. I also did cook them for 23 minutes only because the timer was going off. I was testing my, checking out my SD card to see, make sure the microphone was working. And it is, yay! So, there you go, toothpick is dry and it feels very firm. It doesn't feel liquidy in there at all. So cupcakes are done. Now we will let them cool. So I have a couple cupcake containers that I like to use. This one I got it's from Tupperware. So I guess something else that I got from a Tupperware thing that I actually like and use. Of course, I'm not going to show you how it does this. This has a cover on there that if you bring up the sides, here we go. The latch is on the sides and the cover lifts off, and then you have area for your cupcakes in there. The only problem with this one is that it only holds 18 cupcakes. And I mean, usually today I made 18, but usually you have 24. And if there's kids in a classroom, you take a treat for class, it's usually 24. So, although I do still use this, it's also nice to have an extra. These days I'm making a lot more than that anyways when I share my treats. And you can pick it up and go. Of course, I never trust those anyways either. Always make sure you're putting a hand under them when you're carrying something so they don't fall and spill. And then I got this one too from the grocery store. This one says Good Cook. And it has handle latches on the sides that you open. And this one's a double decker. So this tray just lifts off and you have a bottom one which holds your 12. And the top one holds 12. It sets on there. So the good and the bad of that one is you only have so much height. So depending on how tall your cupcakes are, what kind of design you have on them, sometimes you can't use this top layer. And same when you're putting the lid on, you only have so much room between the cupcake and the lid. So it is something to be mindful of when you're putting your cupcakes in there. But usually when I frost them and all that, I like to just put them right in my container right away. Okay, I'm going to start by putting a little bit of frosting on the cupcakes as a thin layer and putting an Oreo in the middle to give us a starting point for making our sunflowers. Now, with the remaining frosting, we're going to put that in a bowl and we're going to color it yellow. This is awesome. soft frosting. We'll see how this is gonna go. Alright. Yellow, and we're gonna need some red. So we'll try a couple drops of yellow and get it till the yellow that we like. Now we're going to divide half of this up and make the other half orange. So I'm going to put some of the yellow in here and then add some red food coloring. It looks more pinky than orangey. Okay, one of the neat things about this book too is, again, it's showing you how to be able to do things at home. So if you don't have piping bags and that, what you can do. So they're showing you how to use a Ziploc bag that you put your frosting into, and then we're going to cut a tip on. So we're going to reinforce our tip with some Scotch tape, and we're going to cut a tip out of there and hopefully be able to get some leaves that kind of look like that to make our sunflower. All right, here we go. Luckily for me, I actually have piping bags, so this doesn't work. I've got a backup. But I did also just watch another video on how to do this, besides reading it in the book. So I will link that video down below. But you want to take your baggie, regular baggie or a freezer baggie, and reinforce your tip. So a piece of tape on either side. And just remember, we want to make smaller holes than bigger ones. We can always make them bigger. So we're going to make like a upside down V shape for this one to make our leaf pattern. So just try to put that where I'm at. Focus or not, that's what I have. We'll see what happens. Alright, so then fold back your baggie so you don't get frosting all around the rim of it. Here's our hole. And we want to put half of one color frosting on one side and half of the other, so it'll kind of mix up. So let's see how this goes. Oh, this is going to be a goofy looking sunflower. Alright, then you just squeeze it all together. And we'll see if I could make some flower tips. Oof, this feels small. All right, let's try it on a cupcake. Oh, this feels so small. Let's see, I'm gonna try a small one. So you want to start on the outside edge. We're gonna do one lap all the way around and then go on the inside edge and hopefully get into the bottom of underneath the Oreo, so that won't really show. Well, it's gonna look like a flower, but not a sunflower. What the heck? I did better when I did my daughter's. I probably used cake coloring
Let me, you could just do it one time around. Squish that down a little more. Make sure you twist it so it doesn't really go squirting out the top. Woo. And this is really soft frosting when you use it out of the can, so it's gonna squish out. So that's the other thing. I'm sure I made my own powdered sugar frosting for the last one too. Well, it is what it is. You get what you get, right? Well, and there you have your sunflower.
Oh, I have a new microphone. I have to get used to having the little pack in my back pocket there. I can't lean on the counter and stuff now. So anyways, there's the cupcake. I don't know. As I've said before, it's hard, I found it's hard that with the store-bought frosting, to try to make any type of decoration design type things, the frosting was too soft to really pipe out. I even put these in the refrigerator now to even harden up the cupcake with the frosting that I've done, and it's still not really hard at all. So I think I'm going to whip up a batch of my own regular frosting and finish frosting the rest of the cupcakes. If I get a chance, remember, I will film some of that and I'll leave that here somewhere in the video. But they do look very pretty. It's a very, very fun design. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm not going to eat these because I'm going to take them in to share them. But you guys, keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye. Alright, it's the next day. I'm home for a couple hours for lunch here, so we'll see if I can whip up a batch of frosting. This will require 1 cup of butter, room temperature, 4 cups of powdered sugar, and about 2 tablespoons of milk, depending on how thick or thin it is. You might need more than that, and a teaspoon of either vanilla or almond extract. So let's see how this goes. Nice. It's good and bad with the stick. I like keeping stuff in plastic containers because it's easier to store. But the static, especially with powdered sugar, woo! Look at it jump all over. On my shoes, on the floor. Oh, gotta love it. It's a lot thicker. Should do a lot better for making flower petals. Alright, that's what the amount of frosting we have. It's pretty nice and thick. I'm going to color half of this yellow and the other half copper. I guess that's, I've got some cake paste food coloring type stuff. So we're gonna try that instead of the other food coloring I had before. So I have some, what is this, lemon yellow, and then I have copper. I don't have orange, but I have copper. So that goes. If not, I've got some red. We'll go from there. Sure. Can I get it open? So gel food coloring
can buy this at the craft stores like at Michael's or probably even like at Walmart or Meijer or whatever in the cake tart department. It's just gel. Usually you just need a little bit to color. We'll see if we need more. And sometimes it's easier. I could have just left the beaters in there and had the beaters color it because sometimes that goes faster. Good. You can see how it's getting more yellow. Be careful to not get some of this on your hands because it will really stain your hands. As you can see, we didn't use that much food coloring and we got a nice yellow color there. So now, let's see what color our copper will get us. Looking kind of dark. Maybe I don't want that much. Alright, we'll try this. To a peach the other day, and this one, it's not quite orange, but I have a package of these disposable bags, so I'm going to try that. And then you just put a tip in the top of the bag. I'll have to cut that bag off. So the baggie comes all the way full. So we're going to cut part of the tip off and then make sure that our little coupling device will fit in there. We'll cut off more. So again, you want to start off more with a smaller hole just to make sure. You can always make it bigger. Can't make it smaller. So we put the one part on the inside. Whee! And make sure it fits on the bottom. I can cut off just a tad bit more. Fruit fairy will join me. So just have a tiny little bit of the other part sticking out. I am using, what am I using? 352. Number 352. It's got that V-cut in there, kind of like we did on the baggie the other day, but it's got that V-cut. That's what helps make the leaves or petals. So we put that on top, screw it on. Alright, tight enough that frosting shouldn't be coming out. We put this in a cup, it's easier to fill it for frosting. And so again, we're going to try to put frosting half and half in here to make it look more leaf-like when it comes out. Haha. Whoosh. Seeing as that's pretty much all I'm doing with this frosting, I'd rather get this more full than not. Easier to fill it now, first time, than to try to refill it. Alright. See what happens. So we're just going to pinch the top together. See, there's some air down there at the tip. So we're going to squeeze this down till it can get down to the tip. A lot of copper down there, not yellow, but then you twist it. So it also shouldn't come out the top. And then you just squeeze. Should grab another plate. Oh, let's practice. Looks like my yellow's way up high. It'll take a little while for that to come out. Put some of this back in the bowl. Start seeing some yellow. Goodness. There we go. All right. And I'll try to do that down here so you can see. Ha! Smooth it again. And we'll put our leaves out. Try to make them smaller. Yesterday my leaves were going so far out I like couldn't even put cupcakes next to each other or they would be touching the frosting. Alright, oh, I got a headache. And then you want to squish it down some more. Twist it. So you always have a pretty good grip to be able to have on there, otherwise your hands get really tired. And then we'll put a second layer on. Now for some reason I'm back to mainly copper, not yellow. Oh well. Don't we? Hi, Jenny here. It's my birthday week and trying to figure out we're gonna have a bling in there. That's probably not good either because you'll probably pick that up because you're a sensitive mic. Ooh. I have a microphone pack in my butt now. I can't just lean up against the counter. That's the fun part. Try not to get your hands full of frosting. Ah! Take 3. So I'm trying out a new microphone again, a different one, and I have a little pack in my back pocket now that I have to be conscious of not leaning on the counters and stuff, but hopefully this one will work out. I
checked it a little bit in the beginning here to make sure that it was actually working. It still seems a little sensitive. It's picking up some background noise, but not as much as my other microphone. So here we go. Refrigerator kicks in. We'll see how what we hear. We'll see how it goes. The challenge is getting them in here. And then the other challenge will be getting them back out again. So we need another invention on how to get cupcakes in and out without getting frosting all over your fingers. Get ready for work. I'm already ready.